hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
You know, it's like first time jitters. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know what's up, y'all, for the listeners. Look, for the listeners. I don't know what's going on. Everything is in shambles. You know what I mean? Like, I got to keep it real with y'all, man. Damon ain't here. First, the Fat Boys break up. You know what I mean? I don't know what's happening. Damon, he got something going on. He taking care of something. This is not a bonus episode, so that means like y'all should be listening. Like it ain't a bonus episode. For some reason, people see bonus and they like, oh yeah, like it's new content too, you know. But honestly, we're here. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that I just got home. Like, so where I am for like 1900 military time, y'all. You know, I just got home, and now it's 2000. You know, and I hit T-Shep earlier, man. You know, I say, T, like, are we recording at 1930 at 2000? She never hit me back. You know what I mean? She hit me up at 1930.
That was because the AT&T does not work very well close to the border. So that's the reason why. It was my phone service. I didn't even see it until I left.
At 1930. You're talking about I'm on.
I was ready.
Like I'm just seeing this. I'm on. Right. So that means we ain't have time to, you know, really. Yeah, it's been a long time, right? This is a bad way to kind of reintegrate with y'all, you know, but like, no, we ain't had time to get set up and ready. So this is what y'all got. You know, y'all got us, you know, hopefully y'all familiar with this. If you're a first time listener, I humbly apologize.
Just listen to our last one or something. Go back.
Yeah, like the last, you got to go back a couple.
We've been having a lot going
on recently. Hey, but just it's been a whole lot going on. I'm not sure how much of it we're going to recap because it is some stuff that we want to get to. But a couple things that's been going on. So Amari is in daycare now. She just started daycare this week. Which none of us wanted to, you know, do that, but we had to. Mm-hmm. Angeline, mom had to go home and, you know, live her life and do some life stuff. So Amari is in daycare. She going to date her little bougie self. She going to daycare and over in the wharf in DC with some political, you know, people's children and everything like that.
Tea.
They got the black trucks outside. You know, you got it's crazy, you know. So she in daycare, 5 months, Amari. That's happening. I started my new job now. So I'm the C-cell over at my new job. I don't even know why I'm like keeping it a secret, you know. At this point, people know, everybody know.
Like you in the secret service.
Temps, shit. Yeah, they know it. But yeah, I started over there. This is like my first full week. You know, I started on Thursday. Before then, I was in Millington. We had an eye stop to get like, you know, some CPPA stuff. Talking to detailers. Actually, you know, got a chance to link up with Bill Houlihan, and he came and talked to us a couple times. As amazing as he was on the pod, you know, 10 times more amazing. Nice. Outside of the pod, you know, we actually talked about the podcast and what that looked like for me now. I got some good advice from him and a couple other people too. So before then I was at CMC Cobb School. So able to have some conversation with Toby Ruiz. And actually he is the person that read me my Hogan assessment, to anybody that's familiar with that. So we went through some of that stuff. Actually got some good input from him as well about the podcast, as well as from some of my classmates in class in CMC Cobb School. So good course. I love Rhode Island. Definitely had fun. New job. Happy to be there. At one point, and while I was in school, I was entrenched in this whole Kendrick versus Drake beef. Like they kept me up all night one night. You know what I mean? Like Family Matters came out. 616 in LA came out first. And then I'm like, oh man, you know, then Family Matters came out. I'm like, okay, Drake, he hit back. And then like 10 seconds later, you know, I look at a link for Meet the Grams, Kendrick, and then Not Like Us. And then I guess that was all she wrote right there.
Yeah, that Not Like Us killed it.
Yeah, I got sent Euphoria in class. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, when is the next break? I'm a hip hop kid at heart. I'm like, what is the next break? And we in Newport. Service wasn't that good. I'm outside, got a headphone in. Somebody was like, yeah, it's always good to get that fresh air. I'm like, you don't know. I'm sitting here dissecting these Kendrick lyrics. You know what I mean? Found the one person in class that I felt like probably knew what I was talking about. And I was like, hey, Kendrick dropped something, dog. You know what I mean? But it started to get crazy. You like, yo, Kendrick dropped something. You like, yo, Drake dropped something. Yo, Kendrick dropped something. Yo, Drake dropped. Yo, hold up. Kendrick dropped something. You like, yeah, I heard it. They like, nah, he dropped something else. Like, dang, you know what I mean? So for that weekend, man, we definitely had a very, very high octane hip hop battle. And now we coming into this news about Puff and Cassie, in which we will talk about in this episode. But it's been a lot, and I'm sure I got a whole lot more that, been going on, but I don't want to bore everybody with my life. Damon got a lot going on. He's moving, y'all. So that's why he's not here. I guess he don't have furniture. He can't pod. Y'all know me, man. So, I mean, this might sound like, I'm talking shit. This might sound like I'm talking trash, right? But I would say like, yo, I will pod no matter what. You know what I mean? If I ain't had no furniture, I got the laptop. You know what I mean? Like, David, if I got no furniture, David, I got the laptop. Where you at, man? And I make sure I got Wi-Fi till the day after I move. And I know that sounds bad because we just missed a few episodes. But we missed them for a lot of reasons. But we ain't want to hold out on y'all for too much longer. So, we'll figure it out. Who knows? Who knows if it's video? Who knows what happens? We supposed to have some guests lined up. We still got E4 and Junior we've been talking to. I feel bad. They probably like, yo, they BSing us.
Right.
No, like we coming. It's something coming. I've been talking to one of them I keep moving the date and moving the date and moving the date. I'm sorry. We just been lifing, and I'm using the fact that y'all ain't seen an episode as like an example. It's not like we out here churning out episodes. Like it's nothing. You know what I mean? So y'all, we in shambles, y'all. We in shambles. We'll figure it out. It's good to see Tish though. What's up, Tish?
Hey, listen, I'm living my best civilian life. All those problems y'all having, I'm not having those over here. I go to work every day. I get off at a certain time every day. I be running. My biggest joy of the day is going in my closet and figuring out what I'm going to wear. I love it. I love it because I don't look like everybody else. So I'm just really loving life. And I deleted my social media. Or I didn't delete it. I was planning to delete it, but I didn't because I don't want to start back over when I come back. So, but I did kind of like get off of social media just to kind of like, since we're in this period where we're kind of, we got a lot going on. I'm like, well, I probably won't have too many people hit me up during this time. So let me take that opportunity to kind of deflate and kind of shut out some of the noise. Social media is just kind of getting too loud, too much negativity and all that stuff. But yeah, like life over here, it's lifing. But it's all good. I don't have y'all problems. You know what I'm saying? I don't live that life no more. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But, it's funny because like everything that like y'all got all this stuff going on, and then we coming on and you already said like, listen, we ain't prepared. We here, but we got some stuff we gonna talk about, but it ain't gonna be like the other ones. But that's kind of like what we are used to though. So we already know we gonna knock it out. And I'm like, we get done like that in the military, especially all the time. Hey, we do a training on this and you just gotta pull something out your ass real quick and get up there and start boom, 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 boom. So yeah, I think we gonna be good. It's gonna be a good episode though. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we definitely ready to go. One of the things that happened while we were away was we lost a young airman, 23-year-old Roger Fortson. I don't necessarily want to get into the specifics of what happened right now. I know that what happened really matters, and if you do want to get into it, Tish, I'm 100% with getting into it. Just personally, I didn't want to, but we can because the fact that it mattered to me, and maybe this because I was a little bit like I don't want to say triggered, but one of like our people, either they're a listener or they just happen to see this picture or something, or they follow us on Instagram. But one of the Instagram comments, when all I did was post a picture of them and I put 3 doves, right? Said nothing about, the PTSF handler, whoever that is, right? They did all that, right?
Right.
Nothing on this page had no commentary or nothing at all, right? And a lot of times I don't like putting commentary on things when we lose people, because I don't like adding my feelings or my intentions to it. I just want to honor this person that we lost. And that's what I was trying to do with him. So I just wanted to honor him, his life, his legacy, and what he meant. I heard at the service, the people that represented him at the service, the officers, they said he was who he was before he got there, right? And he was a good dude. So that's, some of what they were saying. But on Instagram, like I said, one of the comments was, it was like very negative, like kind of not really negative, but I guess in this person's case, it was like matter of fact, like, why would he do this when he knew this, or why would this happen? And it's like, yo, it's not. And I responded, I'm like, all I did was post a picture with 3 doves, and I'm thinking at that point, the person would then say, may he rest well, whatever. And the person just doubled down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would he do this, that? Like, and it's like that wasn't what it was about in the moment. We just want to honor one of ours, man, a service member,
Right. Right.
All of the other stuff, like, why are you focusing on that? You know what I mean? Right now, the negative side of it, I know some other people, they fighting for justice and stuff like that. And that's always, in my opinion, the right side of the coin. But why are you focused on all this stuff? Like, all we doing is saying rest in peace. You could leave your op-ed to like another page, somebody else that's hosting op-eds. We ain't hosting no op-eds, brother.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I had to hop off social media. It's because of people like that who always feel like their opinions have to be heard, like their opinions matter more than other people. And it's just really tiring because, dog, we don't care about your opinion.
Right.
Like, let's just let it be what it is. And everybody's so mean behind those thumbs. They are so mean. The things that they say, they would never say in person. And I don't even have people like coming at me or attacking me in that way. But to just see it on social media in general, even though it's not me, it's somebody else, like, it still like makes me feel some type of way about humanity, like, as a whole. Like, why are we like that? But yeah, like, this, at the end of the day, this still was a young soldier. He lost his life at a very early age. And so no matter how you feel about what he did or what he shouldn't do, it's still a loss of a soldier. And if that was my boy, like, yeah, I would feel some type of way. If that was my soldier, my sailor, whatever, I would definitely be affected no matter what.
Yeah, it's like one of us lost their life, to bullets, or to, behind a gun, not on the battlefield. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's a soldier's honor, the battlefield, not just at your house and your apartment.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what, like that's something to mourn. A 23-year-old with a bright future, whatever life had to, even if, and I'm not even talking about him right now, but when we lose a 23-year-old, we don't know what we lose. You know what I mean? Like, even if at the time, a person might be misguided, in their early 20s, who knows what's going to happen at 26, 27, and I'm definitely not talking about him. I heard he was a really great guy, but, I wasn't the, most guided person at 23.
Right.
And I'm not about to say I'm the most guided person now, but like, hey, look at me now. You know what I mean?
You much better than what you used to be.
Yeah. Like, hey, look at me. I'm kick ass. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, it's always, to me, it's always sad when we lose young people, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was that. I do want to say this, Tish. We got like, ever since Admiral Cheeseman kind of got at the dude on Facebook, every now and then we slide his name into the conversation because we really don't want no No smoke with Admiral Cheeseman. I'm going to say this. I actually had a chance to sit and listen to Admiral Cheeseman talk. And it's confirmed. I really don't want no smoke with Admiral Cheeseman. It's confirmed. I don't want no smoke. Like for real, like real talk. Hey, so first off, all seriously, like I really admire Admiral Cheeseman. Like I admire him just the way he gets into a room and commands it. From Jersey, right? So he kind of come across like he got like that gangster, like kind of Jersey gangster like vibe to him. He remind me of Joe Pesci, right? Hey, somebody get this to Admiral Cheeseman, please. He reminds me of Joe Pesci, and not because I could tell where his mind, like just from listening to him talk, I know where his mind might go because he a little short, but that's not the joke. It's like when Joe Pesci beating somebody with a phone or whatever he doing in those movies. I could see Admiral Cheeseman attacking somebody with a phone. You know what I mean? Hey, razor sharp, totally aware, definitely honest, definitely transparent, and he shared a whole lot with us that I'm not going to share on this podcast because some of that stuff was important information. I don't know if it was time for us to be sitting there having, conversations about, because some of that stuff still might be in the workings and stuff like that. Because that man has a whole lot going on. His name be on so many damn admins, it don't make no sense.
Right.
But hey, I admire him, and I appreciate what he means and what he's doing for the Navy. Like it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely dope. But yeah, we got a chance to sit with him. I'm like, damn, yo. And it was everything that, it was everything you could want from an admiral sitting in there with y'all, man. Like, yo, like, this dude's funny, man. He funny. People asking questions. He got an answer. He has an answer, you know what I mean? But he always has something funny to say. It was sharp, real sharp with it, really sharp with it. So totally admire him, man. I know that we got the right people in the right places. We just need to get the right information to those people, so they can make things happen. Nice. Some things were confirmed from a lot of conversations I had between Millington and Rhode Island. We're going to get into some of that like real soon. So first thing is advancement results. They coming, Tish. They coming, right? I know these I don't know how long Tish gonna be able to hold on when we hit the straight military topics. Like Tish, like
no, I'm good. I actually look for the advancement results. I actually have friends that'll send me the quotas and stuff like that. So I have people that I'm still rooting for, even on the outside. I got y'all. I'm rooting.
Yeah. So cycle 263, AC, TAR, E5, E6, advancement result time, or the release timeline. So May 28th would be the quotas. That's right around the corner. Like this episode would be out. That's probably like same week. The 29th would be the triad notification. It's crazy because I'm a part of that now. So I feel kind of good.
Nice.
Triad, yeah. I'm a know.
So what's your flavor when it comes to telling people that they've advanced? Like, how do you want to do it?
I'll tell you in a sec. So,
okay.
And then May 30th. So remember, May 28th, quotas, May 29th, triad notification, May 30th, my Navy HR public release. So me personally, you kind of like, that's kind of like the stuff that you leave up to Skipper to make the decision on like really the flavor and how they want to do it. If it was up to me,
or if your input was asked, you will be like,
well, no, because it's a dynamic command. Because so it's no like one MC. It's no way. It's like it's a shore command. It's a bunch of MAs. They work different shifts.
Oh,
so yeah. So the perfect way of doing it is really just calling them, having that one-on-one conversation, because you're not going to wait till and they're going to know, they're going to know before all that stuff come out. So it's really just getting the names, giving them to the skipper, skipper giving them a call. And then, when it's time to frock them, being able to frock them. We've been talking about this 30-month TIS frock though, because we got one coming up. Hey, if you done a 30-month TIS frock, hit me up in the DMs, man. I'm trying to see how y'all handled that. We got a couple different codes, but I want to see how y'all did it, the 30-month TIS as far as the advancement, because I guess it ain't even really like a frock, So, hey, just hit me up, let me know what's going on. But yeah, so the CO hit him up right now. So would you want to get a call from the CO if you didn't make it?
No. If the CO calling me, only call me, because if I hear your voice and you say this is a skipper, I'm like, I'm on the phone like, yeah. And if he be like, I'm sorry, but you ain't make it, I'm hanging up.
So right now, I think they getting a call even if they don't make it. Ooh. You know, and I think that's crazy. You know, you like out with your friends, your wife. You like, hold up, the skipper calling me. Like, I must have made it. You know, the skipper call you. The captain ain't just gonna hit you with the bad news. So everything he say is gonna have you more and more riled up. Like, hey, what's up, MA? You know, what's up, MA2 McCullough? Hey, Captain, how you doing today? Hey, I'm just checking on you, see how you doing. How you doing, shit, mate? I'm doing great, you know, maybe better after this news. Hey, yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to let you know, what's up, Captain? You ain't making it. You know what I mean? Like, study, you know, we gonna give you a CDB, we gonna talk to you, but you ain't making up this exam. Like, I wouldn't want to know, you know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. I'm gonna dig it, I'm gonna figure that out. It's funny, I never get too personal about commands, but I don't even know, I guess that's not that, I'm gonna figure that out though. Maybe, I don't think we should do that. Like if you ain't get the call, you ain't get the call. But
don't do that.
You know, it's like, but then it's twofold, because it's like, are you gonna be wondering though? Like, well, I didn't get the call. Because I remember when Chief Results first came out when I was TAD at a command. Mm-hmm. And I was TAD, So the results came out, right? And I went up to the XO. I'm like, hey, like, what's up? Like, you know, they ain't say my name. Like, what's going on? You know? So I was like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, we gonna go over the region. It's LCS. He's like, we gonna go over the region just to, you know, get all the names and figure it out. So I saw him later. You know, they announced everybody, because I guess they was holding off on announcing people till, you know, and they announced everybody. I went back to us, you know, I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, what's my name? You know, he's like, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm TAD, you know? He was like, I know you TAD, man. He was like, but we did everything. You know, we triangulated the data, man. You know what I mean? And he was, so eventually he just had to tell me straight up. She was like, you ain't make it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You ain't making this job. You know what I mean? So sometimes people, sometimes people can't be left in suspense. Because I know that's how I was. You know, everybody, you know, even all the people, you know, they like, yo, you TAD though, you know, that person that like y'all both been talking about it, like, yeah, we gonna make it, you know, and then they make it, but you don't, and then they kind of gotta make you feel good. Yo, you TAD still though, you know, so they might be
coming. Keep hope alive.
It wasn't none. I'm so glad I ain't make it that first time I was supposed to make it. When I think about some of the stuff that we were doing that first time, like, you know, just aboard eligible first classes on the LCS that I was with, like we was like linking up together, eating at the same table and shit. Like, it was so nasty, man. You know, I wound up going back to squadron and just making a decision like, yo, all I'm gonna do is just care about my sailors, man. I'm never gonna invest, you know, just this much time and they're caring about this part of the process. I'm gonna do what I need to do, but whatever happens with this board stuff, it's what happens. Yeah. And I ain't never cared. Like, I'm using this word care. Hopefully people understand like loosely, but I ain't never care about like that part of the whatever happens. A group of people gonna make this decision and this determination, whatever. Like that, I was like 9 years in the Navy at that time. You know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, it was like, yo, we like eating together. She's like, yo, let's just sit here together. We all aboard eligible people. That shit was, it was wild, Tish, man. But yeah, so that's the advancement results, 05 results. I don't know why whenever we start potting, my nose want to try to run.
Yeah, mine does too.
Yeah, like, what's up? 05 results were released. A lot of people on that list. A lot of good people on that list. Hey, congrats to y'all. Good stuff. The screened 8 and 9 results released. Everybody and their mom on that list.
Yeah, it was a lot of
My
people.
whole Facebook timeline is screened 8s and 9s. I don't even know if there's any Chiefs left in the Navy. You know what I mean? Like, my whole Facebook timeline is screened 8s and 9s.
That's dope.
the whole time. Maybe I'm just getting old in this whole thing. You know what I mean? But hey, congrats to all y'all.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about that right now, actually, because it's still a hot topic. We talked about it with Admiral Cheeseman, I think. We talked about it with Bill and Millington. It's a hot topic. The senior enlisted marketplace is definitely a hot topic. One of the things that I know now that I kind of always thought was it was experimental, with the Master Chiefs, and, that ain't, no diss or nothing, no shade, but it was experimental. They didn't know the Master Chiefs was a smaller study size group or whatever. And we kind of wanted to see how this was going to play out, right? So we're going to get into SEM a year later, right? Because we either at a year later. If we not at a year later, if it's longer than a year later, then I feel like SEM a year later is a good title. So this is what y'all going to have to accept, right? So at a year later, when we were sitting in our class, we were at like only 90 billets left to be filled, right? Out of I believe 500 and something, I think. I could have the numbers off. With I think 60 or 30 of those billets. I had it all written down, but again, this ain't the episode where we gonna get too deep in what we had written down. But what a major number of those billets, people already saying that they not staying in, right? So it was already people giving up their billet. So it was only about 30 or 15, somewhere between 15 and 30 people left to fill the billets. And by June, it looked like that was going to happen. It don't seem like by April, by whatever date is it looked like they was going to have, by that deadline date, it looked like everybody was going to have had filled their seats, which would make the senior enlisted marketplace, or if you see SEM, that's how they abbreviate, which would make it a success. So it would be a success, Tish. So if the senior enlisted marketplace is a success, then that's only encouragement to keep it going.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what the other factors are, like the deck plate level, quantification factors on this is how this person felt about it. This is how this person, but what the Navy is seeing, and I like to say big Navy, even though, I am starting to put some names to some faces, but what the Navy is seeing is we are filling the billets that need to be filled. We getting Master Chiefs on critical C billets. And I don't mean critical by any C-driven critical, but just out on C billets where they supposed to be. Right. And we getting them filled. So let's now do the same thing with senior chiefs. So in the eyes of the Navy, it's a success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
we putting butts in seats.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. And they had a time frame, and it sounds like they're gonna meet the time frame. So, but I'm sure when they do it with the senior chief, they have those lessons learned, and they're just it'll probably be a smoother process, and everybody has kind of learned, hopefully, they paid attention to what was going on with the Master Chiefs to kind of understand the process a little bit more. And it's going to require some patience.
They did. Yeah, they did. And it was so when I say experimental, that's what I mean. It was a collection of data. They got data points.
They got the data.
And they know that the senior chief group is bigger, right? They already know that. It's a bigger size group. And they know they're going to get more data from that, so just sitting everywhere. I was happy to hear that, even the people that was a part of building this process, say, hey, we were collecting data. Nobody was like, yo, we had this all figured out.
Right.
And, y'all just had to, even with the scoring criteria still, some of the C duty stuff, it's what if somebody just got off C duty and now they're on shore duty compared to somebody who just got off shore duty and now they're on C duty? Would that person with the C duty stuff take precedent over that person? So that stuff is even some rates that's, not a part of SEM, some of those smaller rates, AW is, but some of those other rates are not a part. So it's a lot of lessons learned and a lot of things that people took from the E9 thing. And then we're going to roll in to the Chiefs. You know, we're going to roll into the Chiefs soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one of the big questions that come out of the Chief thing is how the season going to go, right?
Mhm.
So when we had Bill on here, we asked him about that. To my knowledge, coming from school, I think he is a part of the team that's developing the answer to that question, like as we speak, right? I could be wrong about that, but I mean, he almost has to be, right?
Mhm.
Like that's his job, right? But yeah, so I think he a part of the team that's building the answer to that. I think a couple coas. Let's talk about a couple coas, Tish, and which one could be the best, because we were debating this at a lunch table at when I was in CMC Cobb. Hey, to the junior sellers, I'm sorry, we got to get all this stuff out the way because some of these topics are hot topics. And we got Chiefs that listen to y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to get some of these hot topics out the way. And this stuff is going to affect y'all too in the future, more sooner than you think. You know, if you're a second class, you got to start looking at some of this stuff. And for the first classes, this y'all.
This is,
like real soon, right? So one of the coas was during the season, like, and these just ideas we were shooting around. So one of the coas was like during a season more than once, right? In a year. We were shooting that as like a really bad idea. like why would you do the season more than once? Somebody even had as many as 5 times a year.
Oh,
you know
my
what I'm
gosh.
saying? You know, because
bandwidth.
you know the way to, what'd you say?
The bandwidth that would take.
Right. Yeah, like 5 mini seasons.
Right.
Like, you might as well get rid of the season if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because you know the way it works is like you screen, so you find out you make it, and then until you know it's time for you to like rotate or you get your orders, you don't put that rank on, right? That's the way it works right now. But it most likely it would have to work different for the Chiefs in that regard, right? So one of the other coas, which I think makes the most sense out of the coas, is to keep the Chiefs season exactly as it is, right? So the results come out, everybody, now this, like we could kind of talk about this, teacher, I want you to, and I think you could still be close to this information as far as having an opinion. So everybody screen for Chief, right? So they go through the season, right? When they finish the season, they all do a pinning ceremony, right?
In khakis.
And they all get pinned. Yeah, they all get pinned and they all wear their anchors, right? But the process is still the process. So they would still be waiting for the orders or whatever like that. And we all know what it could take up to like 2 years. Right? It could take up to 2 years. I should have said senior listed marketplace 2 years later. But it could take up to 2 years, right? So now, like, do they give do they get the anchors back? Like, you know, that's the only thing. Cause it's like, what if you don't, but so far from the sample size we got, everybody got the billet. But cause essentially now when you make Chief, you're not yet getting paid for it.
Right.
Right. You still E6 for, like, I still was getting paid as a first class for damn near till the next season, till the next group of Chief selects, like a week or two before the next group of Chief selects went through. Cause I damn near that 4 years. So it's kind of like that same process, right? My only thought process, you know, what it was, the significance of like hearing the Chiefs creed, you know, at the ceremony, that, you know, hearing all of that stuff, the significance of hearing that stuff, putting it on and feeling like tomorrow I'm Chief,
right?
You know, or whatever, however that goes. And I thought that it would take some of the wind out of those sails when it came to that process. But what's your thoughts on any of these coas?
Why do you think that would? Because that kind of happens now, where you.
I don't think that no more, Tisha.
Oh,
I thought that.
You thought that.
I thought it.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Like when somebody broke it down to me a little bit better, I changed my mind about that thought. Like that's probably the best way to do it.
That's what I think too. As you were talking about before you got into, when you said we were going to talk about the COAs, that's where my mind immediately went. Is you do one chief season, you have the pinning ceremony, you wear khakis after that, and you are not paid until you're essentially in a frock state until you execute your orders. And that's however long it takes. But the only issue, like you said, is what happens if you don't. Like, do you go back to putting on the first class uniform? I've seen, the only situation I've seen where somebody going from a chief uniform back to a first class uniform is disciplinary. So it just don't look good. It don't feel good. But yeah, that's something maybe they have to, commit to it. Like, all right, if you're gonna go through the process and you're gonna get frocked or you're gonna put on the chief uniform, you have to take orders or get out. Like, you got to take orders and get out. Like, I mean, otherwise, like, you going back to being the first class. So, because that's kind of, it's kind of like how we do with the officer. You the officer for these orders, or you going home. So, maybe that's the way. But I do like the idea of having one season that you go through. One, because of the bandwidth and the manpower that it takes on the mess to be able to do that and to do it multiple times a year. Like, geez, that's crazy. But also the camaraderie, like if you're going through the season, the camaraderie that you get by going through it and doing it together, I think that would be dope instead of having like so many, like everybody in the Navy who made chief during that cycle have like, they all have that camaraderie built, so it's like, that's why I think it was just keep it the way, keep it the kind of mirror what we're doing now. There's no sense in having 5. Like, what you gonna have a team 1, team 2,
Crazy.
team 3? Because I'm not doing 5 seasons.
It's hard enough doing one, y'all.
Right.
It's hard enough. The junior sellers be like shocked when they hear that. Like, oh, for real, it's hard. It's hard enough. Like it ain't easy getting one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a lot of work and a lot of planning too. It's a lot of planning that goes into that. A lot of time away. Like they think, oh yeah, they all just ain't at work. No, we ain't at home either. We ain't at home either. Like we just not present at all. So to go through that 5 times, like you would have to break that up. But then you kind of it loses significance, I feel like, when you do it so many times a year. Yeah,
for sure. Did you know that? Before I get off that, like the only other thing that I always question that I think a lot of people don't like is the eval process throughout all of this. Because you stay in the pool of the rank that, you're getting paid for and all that.
Yeah.
Like you stay in that pool. So now like hard and soft breakouts matter more than ever before.
I mean, unless you do like a special eval, or not special, but you're in like that frocked category.
Nah, you stay in your pool.
That's what maybe they should have, like a frocked, keep you in that frock category or something. I don't know.
A different pool? Yeah, well, the chief eval is about to change anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah.
Them joints about to change, like
I know they changing. I don't know how they're changing because I didn't look that far into it, but I just heard that it's changing. I
kind of like the way they about to. Hey, for the listeners, Tish retired. Yeah. I kind of like the way they about to change. I was in class with somebody that's a listener, right? And so people don't know. Like in class, like I don't like until they know. Or some people might look and be like, "Yo, ain't you
look familiar?"
But but like I don't try to like exude. PTSF, onto the class. Yeah, and like, so somebody was like, yo, dude, I didn't even know y'all was in the Navy. Like y'all was talking crazy about, something. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, we in, man. We in, we try our best not to get too crazy. I had to remind myself, like, all right, don't talk specifically about a person, you know what I mean?
It's hard. That was my hardest
It's different
thing.
now. Like people go hit you up, like they want. But I do want to say this though. I did not know that Chiefs messes were still not accepting people. Like I thought that was. I honestly thought that was archaic. So somebody was on social media in the comments, and they was talking about, you know what happens when Chiefs don't feel like people fit the bill, whatever. The beat Chiefs, they just don't accept, I'm like, nah, like that don't happen, bro. Like I ain't never see that. You know what I mean? I never saw that in my career. I never saw it happen. Like somebody not get accepted. Like in today's day and age, normally it's like, yo, if you don't accept them, it's your fault. It's our fault. We didn't train them right. Why did we give them these EPs? Why did they make, so, but like somebody was saying that. So he was telling me, he was like, nah, bro, like you speaking from your experience, people still don't get accepted, and they still get ostracized. They still can't eat in the mess. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy for you to tell me I can't eat in the mess. Like, hey, listen, like, hey, y'all, look, I love your tradition. I love the traditions and I'm with all that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like my brain's scattered right now. I said E4 Jr. and this dude told me that I need to drink coffee out of a mug or something on social media or whatever. And I said, I don't drink coffee. He said, that's your problem. Y'all generation, whatever. But so back to this. Yo, I don't know. Like, what's happening in these messes? Yo, bro, you can't eat it here, bro.
Right.
Like,
that's
what?
Crazy.
You go to the mess stacks, bro. We ain't accept you. Like, you still wearing anchors, but you got to eat on the mess stacks, dog.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like you telling somebody, a grown adult, like, yo, they can't. Like, that's crazy to me. So, I know somebody and I want you to hit me up. And I found out, they ain't get accepted. Somebody I know personally. And I ain't know this still happened, Tish.
But when I went through the season, someone that I went through the season with did not get accepted. And
that's crazy.
Then they PCS'd and that, cause they PCS'd right after. And I heard they wasn't eating in the mess.
Listen,
they went to their next command and wasn't eating in the mess, dog. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not, if you somebody that didn't get accepted, you're not eating in the mess and you listen to PTSF, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the audacity to tell somebody like, yo, bruh, you can't eat in here. You know what I mean? Like it ain't no money on the table.
Right.
And that, like, we not paying for that. We paying dues to be a part of the CPOA. Listen, I don't support that, like, thought process, like, that much anyway. But if you going to do something, you could tell, I believe you should tell somebody like, hey, you can't be a part of the CPOA and participate in CPOA meetings. Right? I don't know how you feel about this.
Right. Yeah.
But if you going to do that, then I would say that would be the extent of it. But to be like, yo, you can't eat in here.
You can't eat in here.
Yo, take that.
Right.
Yo,
they're
that to the mess stacks, dog.
That's crazy.
My man just want to eat his sausage biscuits and beef. It's 6 a.m. like take that to the mess stacks, bro.
On the mess stacks.
Yeah, that's sick, yo. That is sick. If that is you and it's happening to you, hit us up, man. I'm interested in that story, man. And for the CMCs out there, hit me up. Is any of that still happening in y'all's messes? I thought that was kind of over. I thought that went away with the poop in the vessels.
Right, the poop in the face when they were doing the push-up.
The poop in the vessels, man.
Oh, that one,
like, yo, you ain't get, like, they ain't put nothing in your vessel but some shit.
Right.
So I thought it was over back then, but maybe it's not.
But, I don't think, like, in the past few years, because I think it's been, like, all the MCPONs are just, like, really drilling that down in their messages and then trickling it down to the CMCs that everyone will be accepted. And I remember
this dude I'm talking about is like somebody I know. Let me just say that. Somebody I know, because I think I'm gonna cut the last part out. Somebody I know is like last year. Just made it. I was just congratulating on Facebook. Yeah, just get accepted.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought maybe, over the past few years that because I've noticed that it's been drilled more and more from MCPON down, maybe it's just where I've been. They've been doing that. But yeah, I didn't think that it was still happening either. Not in the last 3 years. I wouldn't have thought that it was still happening.
To not get accepted in the TikTok era is nasty work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that's happening. You know what I mean? And like I said, it ain't on the person that ain't getting accepted. I'm like, but what's going on?
Yeah.
I ain't no messes I ain't know, and if you are CMC, I'm interested in like your reason behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I have no feeling toward it. It was whatever it was, your choice, the mess choice, whatever. But I would like, to know that and maybe even be able to share it with people so some people can know like what to do, what not to do.
They ain't gonna come on here. They ain't gonna say their piece because Big Pun said that you're not supposed to do that. So they're gonna be like, I ain't allowed to come on here and say that. But
yeah, but they could do it,
in the inbox,
confidentially. Yeah, they can do it confidentially. Yeah, just DM me and I'm gonna make sure I put your name out there. It's like, no, I won't. But they could do it confidentially. But speaking on confidential, my man, CNOCCS, here's a direct, again, sorry, but it's direct, man. Like, it's people, like y'all directly be doing dumb shit. Like, I don't know what to say. But the CNOCCS was secretly recorded, and it wouldn't... it wouldn't have like bothered me as much as it did if this dude didn't ask, are you a reporter? That was like the first thing they had on the video.
Really?
Was, are you a reporter? Yeah. So did you see this?
I did not see it.
Oh, Tish, I would have had the sound bite if I knew you ain't see it.
I ain't see it. I didn't know what you were talking about. So it's like well known.
Rob Flowers, CCS extraordinaire, right? Shout out to Rob. What up, Rob?
What up, Rob?
Let me know how you feel about this marketplace thing too. I know how Rob feel anyway. I've been seeing his Facebook about it the last couple of days. Yeah. So the CNOCCS, he had a bar or somewhere. I don't know where he is.
For those who don't know, that's Command Climate Specialist.
Yeah,
that's like in the CBO realm.
Yeah, equal opportunity, EEO, and all that, right? And what does CNO stand for?
Chief of Naval Operations.
Yep. Chief of Naval Operations, right?
I forgot.
So this dude, he's somewhere, and he being recorded and he just talking like all this stuff, right? I can't get into too much of what he's saying because I don't remember and I hate misquoting people, but it got to do with like, it's another diversity is bullshit conversation,
Okay. Wait, the CCS? He said, "Yo, this is my collateral." Okay.
Look, listen, it's the CNO, CCS. And he like, hey, listen, yo, how y'all screening these people, man? You know what I mean? Like, how do you... Hey, and I love the CNO. I love the CNO. Everything I've heard, even in his bullshit that he was going through, in my opinion, it shined a really good light on the CNO. Because he wasn't in there like, the CNO don't care about diversity and nothing. He was like, the CNO is championing diversity. She the only one that cares about it in the office. You know what I mean? He was like, it's diversity and inclusion. When she leave, it'll be back to normal. We won't care about it no more.
Dang.
We can't wait till I can't wait till Trump get in office so all this stuff could go away. Like,
wow.
He was saying a lot. And my man was saying a lot. And I'm just thinking about the conversation that he had to have, Like, I can't imagine being at home and that leak out. When I'm at the crib, I'm eating food with the family. We might be laughing. I might be telling them a funny story about work.
Right.
And then I look down at my phone and I see that leaked out. The whole tone changed. You know what I'm saying? You might have to go to the yard, take a breather.
Yeah.
But then you got
to go to work the next day.
You got to go to work.
I'm late. I'm coming in late.
And I think CNO Franchetti, I think if I'm her, this is about to be a personal conversation.
Oh, yeah.
He
didn't make it work. She called him that night. Had to.
I'm going to get a 9-minute, because I know she's super busy. She got a lot going on. I'm going to get 9 minutes of white space for your ass.
That calendar, yes. Clear my calendar. Clear my calendar.
Give me 9 minutes. And I need you to be there an hour early. Be outside of my office at attention.
Right.
and I got 9 minutes straight to char your ass. Then after my 9,
somebody else coming.
my vice seeing know about to be on
That's
your
like the
ass.
neighborhood ass whooping before your mama get home.
Bro, you about to go down that whole chain of command board, every picture. You gonna be at the Naval Academy Commandant by the time we finish this shit.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that he would do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
Right. That's, man. People,
you know,
and especially nowadays where people always have their phone out and, you know, things get on social media so easy and so quick before you even have a chance to, like, before you even know it's being recorded, it's already on social media because people constantly have their phones out. Why would you do that? And they're going to ask, are you a reporter?
Yeah. Yo, you're a reporter? Nah. All right, well, look, diversity ain't shit. You know, like, straight up. Like,
everybody's a reporter. Everybody with the phone is a reporter.
Yep. Anybody. Yep. You're right about that. That might be the name of this damn episode. But even when you in the car, you know, when you're in the car with the lift and they pick you up from the base and they like, yo, where you stationed at? I'm in the Navy, you know.
Right.
I'm stationed somewhere. You know what I mean? What's your job? You know, I do work on the ship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when we were like young, they trained us just like not to talk to people about like your job.
Yep.
You know, I kind of opened up a little bit more now. But my man was way too open, yo. And I want to know what happened to him. Like I need an update.
What was he drinking?
All Rob gave was the story. You said, what was he drinking?
What was he drinking?
My man was on that Casamigos, man. He was off the Casamigos, I think.
Something strong. Something strong. Can you imagine if he was sitting in his office though when it came out? Dog. He probably locked the door and got up out of there. I'm going through a window.
I'm staying. Yeah.
I ain't never leaving.
I make a head call real quick.
And he's in the Pentagon, right?
Head call.
That ain't no easy feat to get up out of there unnoticed.
Nah, that Pentagon, man.
You in for the night.
Ethan Hunt. You gotta be Ethan Hunt to sneak about that joint.
You in for the night.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'd have stayed in there. I'd have just stayed in there until that night watch was slid up out of the last car in the parking lot type shit. Like last car, they in the situation room.
Right.
I'm waiting them out from I'm waiting the dudes from the situation room. I don't even know where that's at. I think that's in the Capitol. I'm waiting them out. Like, yo, listen. Whoever the last person up there, they like, yeah, the president gonna be up in here today. He gonna be here all night. I'm waiting them out.
Right.
Waiting them out.
Right. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm interested in what happened with him though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my do better early, just because we in that mode. Because we about to talk about some super serious stuff. I got a couple of them, but I'm gonna get to this one real quick, and then I'm gonna get to my real one. This first one is this: hey, Navy, I don't know who convinced y'all. I don't know who was the spokesperson for Southwest Airlines that convinced us to start dealing with Southwest, but we need to stop. Southwest ain't it.
It ain't.
Southwest ain't it. They messed up a lot of our flights. Messed us up real bad, man. I don't want to get too specific into it, but Southwest ain't it. You know what I mean? I had to take matters into my own hands on traveling. You know what I mean? And please stop messing with Southwest. It's not doing your sellers any good, right? So that's the first one. My real actual do better is this, right? And this ain't to nobody in particular. You ever been in class, Tish, with a bunch of students? All y'all students. It's a couple teachers or facilitators and the rest of y'all students. But one of the students feel like they might have been a facilitator in their past life or a teacher. So every single time the teacher say something, the student that's in there with you, learning with you, they got something to add, you know? Or they got a question.
Yep.
But their question might last like 6 minutes.
Right.
And the first 5 minutes of their question is them pretty much letting you know that they know all this stuff, you know? Yeah, but the hyperemesis of the gravidarium takes 2 seconds to get to the allotted location in the elapsed time. So what was confusing me is like, what you think about that? It's like, dude, like we know, you know it. All right, like, hey, I'm gonna let y'all know, class over. Hey, look, y'all, be straight. I sat in the seat. I'm gonna let y'all know based off experience. What the facilitators was just saying, that shit happens.
Right.
It happens, y'all.
Like, now I believe it because you said it, dog. Now I believe it.
I was knee deep in the bottle. Then they try to make it emotional, and it happened to me. Like it's like, yo,
Calm
dog,
down.
like you in here with us.
Yeah.
You in here to learn like we are.
Yeah.
So I feel like them people, sometimes I feel like they got main character syndrome. Sometimes I feel like they just can't help it. They want to be helpful. Hey, y'all, do better, man. Accept the fact that you're a student like us, man. Just accept that. Do better, y'all.
It's so funny that you said that because even on the civilian side, it's like that. When I was in school in Charleston, last month, there was one of my classmates was the exact same way. Yeah. Exact same way. And every time he would say something, everybody would be like, oh, God, here we go.
Here you go.
And we would look at each other and be like, all right. And then the head, he's like the top chief or whatever. He's the guy that goes to Congress. So he's that high up of the Border Patrol. He was there. And so he's like asking like for our input or whatever. And before he could even give us the floor, this guy is just like, oh, you guys, like, nobody wants to say anything. And then he decides to speak for the fucking class. Like, dude, who made you to, I spoke with a couple classmates and, we've come to the consensus that blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who fucking told you to speak for us? Like, you're not speaking for us right now, dog. Like, sit your ass down. And he actually, this same guy, we had to come up with a class leader, right? They asked us like maybe day 1, day 2 or something. And so this girl said that she was like, yeah, I don't mind doing it. And he was like, oh, like you want to do it? Like, I don't mind doing it, but if you want to. And then in the next breath, he says, yeah. I don't mind. I'll do it. Yeah. I got it. He straight took it from her like so quick, but it was like day 1. So nobody really knew him like that. Like we thought it was odd, but she was like, okay. And she just kind of let it go. And like everybody else let it go. But then as time went on, we were like, oh no, like this dude is like really like that.
Yeah, he was the RPOC.
He was the RPOC. He had that RPOC
at the school.
Yeah.
But you always been a leader, huh? Everywhere I go, I just kind of like excel in leadership positions always, man. I shine, don't let them dim your light. Don't let them dim your light, man.
Right.
Hey, so I was talking about the SIM numbers.
Hold on. I got to do better. All right, let me make this correction real quick.
Okay. Sorry, I just got to make a correction. I was talking about the SIM numbers, and this is the information I had about it. It was 99 remaining screen for senior enlisted marketplace as of February. I hate that word. About 30 were saying they were getting out, so which made it 69.
Okay.
So it seemed like it would have been easy to fill those seats by the allotted time. All right, that's it.
Thank you. What was that? Damn, I lost it. Never mind.
You do better.
Oh, yeah. So my do better is for like people who feel like they don't like their supervisor and then they direct all their energy into trying to do everything in their power to get them fired and constantly like trying to find fault and then trying to go report every small minor thing like, oh, they were 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell to me and it's so energy draining and I don't understand why people do it. And yeah, that's my do better because I got somebody at work right now that does that and it's just so annoying to see.
Yeah, I remember my brother, he got in trouble at work and he started catching his supervisor doing stuff, taking pictures of him. You know, he sleep with the safe open. You know, it's like, hey, bro, it's Popeyes, man. Like, they don't care about the safe like that.
No one cares. Like, just get over it. Just get over it. And half the time it's like, okay, they corrected you on something and you still upset because like oh boy, like that that we was talking about last time. That was like, if I find that chief in the streets.
Oh yeah. Nah, you gonna put the pause on him.
Put the pause on him.
Yeah,
that's like that. Dude, like, come on, like, get over it. Get over it.
Yeah. So it's a couple other things that we need to do better, and I'm gonna talk about just a couple things. These not like our official do betters, but just as a Navy, the ELD numbers. So this was a post on April 22nd. So about a month ago. Mm-hmm. It says CPO LDC was at a 52.46% completion. So that meant that 203 E7 sellers will be ineligible for advancement for the fiscal year 26 selection board. So that's June 2025. ALDC was at a 58% completion. 459 E6 sellers will be ineligible to take the Navy-wide advancement exam starting calendar year 25. And that's January 2025. Remember, this was as of April 22nd, so those numbers have changed. ILDC, 44.46% completion. So that's the lowest number. And that's 887 E5 sellers ineligible to take the Navy-wide advancement exam starting calendar year 25. So that's January 2025. So FLDC is a 3-day course. ILDC is a 3-day course. ALDC is a 4-day course. And CPO LDC is a 5-day course. Right now, I know the CPO LDC numbers are even better. You know, but I also heard it's a couple messes that all they chiefs qualified on the same day. You know what I mean? Ain't no way y'all all went to LDC on the same day, y'all. Ain't no way.
They said we got it done. We got
y'all
it
don't
done.
know. But, you know, Toby and the good people up there can see all that. You know what I mean? So I think they about to take those rights out of our hands to account for it. You can't be gun decking that shit. Yo, that's very important training. We can't be gun decking that. You know, so those numbers have improved, but they still kind of low. We don't got that much longer till calendar year 25. So we need to get that together. Also, the CA2P numbers are low. As of February, again, that was 17%. And maybe we need to get on this pod and talk more about CA2P and like the process and how you do it. But I know that they do want those numbers to improve because they can. Another thing I want to talk about, I'm not talking about it now, so we're going to keep it in our topic list, is close proximity moves. Right. I think a lot of people know about dependent, you know, BH for where the dependent lives. You know, you do that on sea duty and you could and that's what I was doing. But close proximity moves got to do with if you're getting stationed somewhere close to where you are stationed, you know, and like if you want your but it's different BAH, but you want your BAH to stay where you are stationed. Now, it's in this world, that kind of conflicts a little bit with the dependent BAH thing. So like in my situation, and I want to dig into the black and white, y'all, so I could really get a perfect explanation, but I'm going to kind of outline what we want to talk about and what we want to dig into. Because I think people need to understand this. Not everybody knows what close proximity moves are.
Right.
Because the first time somebody told me about it, they're like, yeah, just do the close proximity move. And he was talking to me like I knew about it. I'm like, okay, I'll do close proximity. I'm like, let me look that up. Okay. But so if you got orders, let's say in my case, like I live in the DC area, I was stationed in DC, I get paid for DC. Then I went to Norfolk. And when I went to Norfolk, I went on sea duty and I got the BAH based off where my dependent lived. It's something there, right? And I'm gonna dig into it. So, you know, and if you already dug into it, you could definitely hit us up. But it's something there that conflicts with if you get other orders and it's a close proximity into where you actually live if you already did the BAH thing for your last set of orders. You understand what I'm trying to get at? It's like if you double moving, it's like a conflict there because the close proximity it is based off of your last duty station type thing. So I want to get into it so we could go over it, so we could be properly educated on that. And if there's anything that we could request to change, I'm sure that we have the right people to talk to. And I'm sure they're listening to change it. Like everybody listening. Is the health of the, I think the health of the force survey was up and running. Hopefully a lot of people got in on that, and did that. I know I was up for a little bit. I think that's it. We got a question from a listener, Tish, and I know you got a couple topics. I might not even be able to find this. I got all these pictures of Amari in daycare, like so many different pictures of Amari. And then I got home and I took Angeline out for Mother's Day. I had to, I made up the time because I wasn't home. So we did something. We did something really, really fun.
Oh, nice.
We did something really fun. So this was one of them. Damon wanted to talk about this one, but I'm gonna read it. And if you're a listener, just hit us up. Let us know. But this came from somebody. Hey, sorry that we didn't read this earlier, but hey, we didn't do an episode. So it says, hey bro, love the channel and everything about it. I have a topic. So recently I decided to get my congressman involved in an issue. I re-enlisted on a COVID deployment and I transferred my GI Bill. I know I checked the small box on the statement of the understanding page, on the statement of understanding page. Our internet was on deployment setting. 2.5 years later, and I'm told the request was denied because I didn't check said box. Now my sons will not get my GI Bill, and I'm not the school type. It's going to go to waste. My issue is we are entitled to the GI Bill. I paid for it and will have 20 years of honorable service. I feel that after your first re-enlistment, you should be able to transfer your GI Bill to any one of your dependents with no questions asked. How can we fix this?
I agree.
So I know when I brought that up to Damon, he was triggered for some reason by that. So he definitely wanted to speak on that. So I think we definitely should speak on it again, but I'm interested in what a listener has to say about that. But what were you going to say about that, Tisha?
No, I was about to say I agree with it. I think when they came up with that policy that benefit that you could transfer it to your benefits, I think that it should have been an automatic thing. I don't know why. And even like if you have 4 years left, if you do 4 years, you should automatically be able to get it. So if you already have served 4 years, then you should automatically get it. You shouldn't have to observe 4 more years, because some people, when that came out, they were pretty far in the game. And actually something very similar happened to me where I can't transfer my benefits to my kids. And I could have, once I found out, I could have then, because I did the observe and everything, but it was like some technical glitch or whatever. And so I couldn't transfer it over. The only way to transfer it over was to do another 4 years. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So it just is what it is. So yeah, I completely agree that it should just be an automatic thing. If it's something that goes along with the GI Bill, like it don't matter who's using it, it's getting used anyway. So that's mine.
I got another one too, Teach, before we get into these other couple topics. It says, goats, can y'all share y'all views on when enforcing or holding junior sellers accountable? Junior sellers take it as bullying and harassment, which leads to senior leadership accused of such terms. I'll let the Ellen hit that one first, and then I'm going to get right on that one.
Okay, so he said that when the chiefs try to get on the junior sailors, they look at it as bullying, right? That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And the chief get accused too. He said that word too. They get accused on such terms.
Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot, where it's like you're holding somebody accountable, and now all of a sudden you're painted as a person because you hurt bullying because you hurt their feelings. So I'm more I'm more with that person because I've seen it so much. Yeah, there are some senior leaders who talk to people crazy. Got that. There's definitely that. But I've seen more times when someone is just holding someone accountable and they're not talking to them crazy. They're just holding their feet to the fire. And that sailor wants to file a complaint, or they think that something is unfair. Or that sailor is just one of those sailors that are always malingering. They always doing this. They always, trying to go around the system. They're doing the least amount of work, but then they want the same, reward that everybody else gets.
Yeah.
They expect to be treated like they're here when their performance is here. And they have no sense of self-realization. They have no accountability. Everything is somebody else's fault. So I get it. I completely get it. Like I said, I've seen that happen so many times. But then again, like I said, I've also seen some senior people that will talk to other people crazy. Funny thing, I was talking to my friend on the phone, and there was an officer doing like parking lot duty. You tell people, make sure ain't nobody parking in your command parking spots.
Yeah.
And somebody parked in that command's parking spot. And this officer, she was in plain clothes, so nobody knew she was an officer except for my friend that was sitting in her car because she don't go into the office until 8:30. Saw her going in on the person. And we were sitting there laughing. And then the next person who she started fussing at was just so happened to be someone she knew. And so she texted her. The girl texted her back and was telling her she was calling her a cunt and all that stuff. So yeah, it's officers or in enlist or senior enlisted that talk to people real crazy because they want to hide behind their rank. And yes, those are bullies, but you can't label everybody as a bully just because you feel some type of way about what they're saying because they're holding you accountable. And it sounds like with this person, it's more of, I'm just holding this sailor accountable. I'm making them come to work. I'm making them show proof of whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm being bullied. No, you're not being bullied. You're just being held accountable.
Yeah. And hey, bro, I don't know if we're going to have a video or not, just to be honest. So I hope you're listening to this. I think we will have a video. But I'm going to just say this. I don't ever, like the officer you was talking about in that parking lot or whatever, I never think like that because I got my, I think everybody know that I got this whole dream that one day I'm going to be at a supermarket and somebody going to catch me in the aisle and be like, hey, remember me? And they're going to call me whatever they remember me as. Hey, EM1. It's like I was a command senior. Hey, EM1, remember me? Boom, and just knock me out. So I try my best not to ever, it's like, I'm like 65 and you still calling me EM1.
Right.
Just spill me all over the baby aisle or whatever.
Right.
But I don't talk to people like that for that reason. And for a lot of other reasons, but for that reason too. And one of the things that I want to say is that, like, if you know you're not talking to people like that and you know you're not doing that, and it's my opinion, and you got the best interest of the sailor at heart, do what you got to do,
right?
And don't regret the decision that you make, whether that means that some like they're gonna look at something, they're gonna investigate something or whatever, right? When I was at school, we had an admiral talking to a bunch of captains about that. Like, hey, if you get something written up against you or whatever, like, don't rush to JAG. Let the process go. All of them was like, no, we rushing to JAG. We rush to get a lawyer. Like, we go get some representation. But
not a bad idea.
The point that he was trying to make was, people file things every day. If you know you had the best interest of the seller at heart.
And you're doing the right thing according to black and white.
Yeah. Like, the system should have your back.
Right.
It's a higher probability of the system having your back than not. Now, is somebody listening right now that's been fucked over by the system? Right. I can't, Tish, I hate this part, but I've been fortunate enough to know when I've knocked on glass hard enough, it cracked, or to know that when things went through the due process they were supposed to go through, nothing came back
Mm-hmm.
and hit me. And if I ever was held accountable for something, I was able to do some self-assessment and realize like what I did wrong in that instance. That's how my career has been.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can't speak for nobody else in that career, but if I go correct a seller because they are doing something wrong out of the lines of good order and discipline, and they got an issue with that, they could tell whoever they want to tell.
Right.
And the process could work however it wants to work. And I should come out of it, golden.
Right.
I had a little issue like that when I was at LPO. I had a junior seller. And he had one of those attitudes where some stuff happened. He was going through a lot of stuff. And some of this stuff I wasn't as sensitive to at this time of my life. Like I hadn't met my wife yet. I was a different kind of person. But he was going through life shit. And he was taking it out on everybody around us, right? I think I was a first class at the time. And he was getting to a point for me where some of the things he was doing was starting to bother me and making me think that eventually I would snap on him. One day I'm going to say something to him that I'm going to regret.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I told my chiefs. I said, hey, I'm going to give y'all a heads up. This dude is trying me very, very hard. And I know how I am and how I could be. And I'm doing everything in my power. Somebody might be listening like, whatever. But I'm doing everything in my power to not be like that. Right. So I told the chiefs, I was giving them heads up, like, yo, this dude getting on my nerves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Like I'm making every single accommodation that I could make for him. You know what I mean? And then one day he was ironing on a workbench, his whites. On the workbench at work, he was ironing them during working hours. And I'm like, hey, what you doing? He's like, I'm ironing. I was like right here on the workbench during working hours? Yeah, And I'm like, well, why didn't you iron at home? Before you, because he was like, yeah, my clothes, they wrinkled. I'm like, why didn't you iron at home? He was like, I did iron at home and they got wrinkled from me going from home to work, and this dude ain't live too far from, the base. He's like, so they got, and I'm like, they got wrinkled enough to have to re-iron them.
Right.
Right. And, he was like, yeah, and I was like, that's dumb. I'm like, that's dumb. And he started saying something. He started snapping. This dude, he punched the locker. He messed his hand up. He had to play, like he had to be seen by medical for weeks and weeks after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I was unbothered by that. Like you punching the locker. Again, like I said, I was a first class.
Yeah.
I'm unbothered. A brand new first class at that, but I'm unbothered by you punching the locker. But I was like, that's dumb, man.
Right.
Then he kept talking. Yeah, they got he started snapping. I was like, that's dumb. And when I black out, I kind of black. But I just kept saying, that's dumb. That's dumb. So he wound up going to my chiefs and he told them, he was like, hey, EM1 called me dumb. Boom, 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 whatever. So my chiefs called me in to the office and then they was like, hey, such and such said, you called them dumb. I said, nope. I said, that's dumb. To iron your clothes and then they get wrinkled in the car. I was like, do y'all know what he said or whatever? And he's like, no, he said.
Of course not.
No. You called him dumb. I'm like, no, I said, that's dumb. To iron your clothes and then they get wrinkled just on the car ride, like the 20-minute car ride from there to there. You got to re-iron them and then you iron them on a workbench. Like all this stuff. And then my saving grace with them was that I've been having conversations with them before this incident. So they knew, they still held me accountable for, my actions, because telling him something that he did that was
dumb.
Like I thought was dumb.
Apparently,
it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they gotta say something. They gotta re-iron. They gotta tell you something. They gotta do something.
So they wanted me to apologize to him. Hey, and for the listeners, I'm gonna be straight with y'all. For the listeners, I ain't apologize to this guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm be honest with y'all. If y'all look at me any different, I'm sorry, but I didn't think I was wrong.
Yeah.
In that regard. And I talked to him. I said, hey, I've been told to apologize to you, but I'm not going to, and I had a conversation with him, stuff like that. But I think he really he determined that the Navy wasn't for him like a while before that moment. And his hand healed up. It did heal up and stuff like that. The locker never did. The thing he hit. But yeah, that's what happened. And when I look at the Navy now and then I look at stories like that, maybe a lot of people did a lot wrong in that story, including me. I don't know. You know what I mean? I was still growing at that time. But I didn't feel like at that time I was wrong.
Right.
And I felt like I covered, my base. So basically, I say all that to say, like, if you are proactive and you do the right thing and you kind of handle it, I don't think you're going to get in trouble. I hope that those stories connect, but I don't think you're going to get in trouble for somebody saying something if you know you did the right. If you know that you could support that you did the right thing, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. Did those stories connect?
Yes, they did. They did. Right. They absolutely did. And that's very true. Like, as long as you know you did the right thing. And like I said, the important thing is making sure it's in accordance with black and white and like good order and discipline and all of that stuff. You should be fine. And a lot of people nowadays, because, people get complaints lodged. Like you said, people do complaints every day. That's so true. Yeah. And so many leaders find themselves afraid to lead because they're afraid, what if I get a complaint against me? Like, they don't want their advancement held up, because depending on how bad it is and what time frame it is and advancement results or whatever, pending the investigation being done, it could get held up. But that's like for like the major things though. For something like that, or like you discipline somebody, like internal type stuff, it's not really going to hold you back from anything, and you shouldn't be afraid of doing the right thing.
Yeah. So even me telling that story, Tish.
Right.
Like it's like, because it's somebody listening like, well, he was a first class and he told him that's dumb. Like, that's fucked up. He did that. He's a first class. He should have never, like, even something like that where it's like, clearly this shit was dumb. Like, in my brain is still, when I think about it, it's kind of stupid. Like,
right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, have some discernment over the words you use. You gotta, this dude was pushing me to my limits well before this time.
Right.
But it's still like, I could have found a better way of saying this. And then it was like, if I did find a better way of saying this, Tish, did I just extend what was going to happen eventually anyway? Did I just extend it? Eventually something was going to happen between us.
Yeah.
As humans.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. They'll be like you said, the hand healed. So
the hand healed.
The hand healed.
It's a lot placed on people, and there's a lot of discernment needed for people in leadpership positions and the decisions that they got to make.
I think one of my biggest leadership faux pas was me not using better judgment and saying something and it was the same situation where a sailor just had been working the nerves, and they worked that last nerve, and then I said what I said. And it was not good what I said, but, at the same time, I just had to follow my sword and do what I did, and make everything as right as I could as possible. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. You know how I know it was bad?
How?
Because you done told us to, listeners know too, y'all.
I told us the story
like 4 times, but never told us what she said.
It was bad.
She never told us what she said.
And I don't want to say it because I feel like it's still so bad. Like, I don't know if the sailor is listening. So that's why it's like, I don't want to say something that bad again. But it wasn't a good moment either. And I'll be open and honest about, like, that was some stuff that you should never say. And so after then, thank God, like, I got my behind the scenes stuff, but thank thank God everything worked out. And I think it was because once I realized, how I messed up, I think my character and how I rebuilt that trust and how I went about it, I think that's probably because I called the sailor. Like, I didn't say it to the sailor. I said it to somebody else. And then when I heard that it was overheard by other people, I went and told the sailor before she heard it from anybody else. So, and that was hard to have to call somebody and be like, yeah, so I said this. Oh, and that's not good.
Teach didn't call somebody a tree, y'all. She called her a tree.
Listen, it was not good.
No, that's crazy.
It wasn't good. I think if she had been a different person, I may have gotten paws put on me, or it may have been a person talking about, I'm gonna put them paws on her in Walmart parking lot one day. But it was
certain people you can't close the door for. Hey, can I close the door, Chief? Nah, keep it open.
Keep it open.
Keep it open.
Keep that shit open.
Hey, before we get into, I know you got a couple, and then we got this puff stuff that we got to talk about a little before.
I'm gonna go over mine quick.
It's a bunch of Fleet Weeks happening, right? We had Miami.
I've been seeing.
We had New York, right? And it's videos. Y'all gonna see some videos. Civilians. This for the civilians, y'all. If you're a service member, grab your civilian family member. This for them. You're going to see videos of, matter of fact, it's like for the retired service members too, because y'all be acting brand new too.
They do. I said we do.
Yeah, you're going to see videos of service members dancing.
Yeah, in uniform.
You're going to see videos of service members dancing in uniform. I want you to know this. Service members dance. They do. It's 20. I'm not even and I would say it's 2024 and service members dance now, but that would be a lie. Service members been dancing since the 1700s, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
The ones that be talking in the comment section, the retirees, they were dancing too. There just wasn't a camera.
Y'all were dancing.
They were dancing. Right?
Some of y'all was getting prostitutes from the USO. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all was getting served prostitutes on a silver platter.
That's true. That's true.
And that was y'all era,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Dancing
that was y'all
era. Did nobody tell you?
Some of y'all were committing war crimes in different places in the world.
Right.
That was y'all's era.
Yep. Bringing the clap back to your wife after deployment, after Fleet Week.
Some of y'all was going to the Philippines and doing God knows what. Some of y'all was going to Singapore and doing whatever you want to do in Orchard Towers. You know what I'm saying? AKA the 4 floors.
Yep.
Who the hell do y'all think y'all are to judge people for dancing?
Right.
I saw Captain Alota, who was on our podcast. He was a video of him dancing, and somebody was all in his comments like, oh man, the Navy's going to shit. Because people dance. Come on, y'all.
How do you expect anyone to take us seriously? I love that one.
Are they busting? Are they busting moves? I can't believe it.
Not the Dougie in uniform.
Actually dance. Are they joking? All right, twerking is different. I get it with the twerking. Twerking is a wild
uniform,
look. You gotta be careful.
Yeah,
that's a wild look. We gotta stop. Some CMCs they was like, hey, when it's time to lead a party? When the first person start twerking, that's when the CMCs go ahead home. And I took that in.
Right, that was part of your welcome aboard.
That was part of my initiation. If I see twerking, I am out. You know what I mean? I hope that wasn't a trade secret, y'all. I hope I didn't give them no trade secrets right there. But
that's very true because they do go ghost during that time frame. No lie. No lie.
You be twerking, teach that you look your head back, you be like, damn, they go CMC leaving.
They gone. They gone. Even khaki ball, they gone.
Time to slide. Irish goodbye, baby. Gotta go. You hit 1 or 2 people. Yeah, CMC left. Then the party really turned up.
Yeah.
So I took in those lessons. But y'all, hey, service members dance. They do. And I just want y'all to know that.
And that's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right. So one topic that while we talking about sailors and them dancing and being happy, Junior enlisted about to get some more pay. Yeah, 20% pay bump. E5s will get 13% more. So this is coming. I'm not going to go into detail or anything, but that's going to come real soon. I think like the next pay at the beginning of the year. And then everybody is going to get, the regular, I think it's like 4.5 increase. But yeah, so for an E2 with 2 years of military service, the increase means about $5,000 extra. And then for E4 with 4 years, almost $7,500. And then to make sure that the E4s aren't getting paid more than the E5s, they're doing like an overhaul and everything. And so, they're going to get an increase also. So y'all been saying y'all need more money. More money is coming. It's on the horizon. So be happy and don't spend it. What did you call it? The Orchard Tower?
Yeah.
Don't spend it in the Orchard Tower.
Yeah, don't hit Orchard up. You still know about Orchard, y'all. It ain't changed. Ain't nothing changed. People was asking me, what's going to happen? You going to be a C-cell. That don't mean I forgot about what the Orchard Tower was. You know what I mean? Stay about the Orchard Towers, y'all.
Right.
Stay about them Orchard Towers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
the next topic, right? I told you I'm going to go through these real quick. But for the next one, this is, everybody who's listening to us, you are clear. But for our shipmates who don't listen to us, they probably should, because we can warn them about some things that can, cause them to not get in some bullshit. So y'all remember we was talking about the little mini mart, the honor system mini marts.
Yeah.
So somebody posted in Reddit, right? He did a post and delete, by the way. He posted asking for advice because he was about to go to DRB for stealing out the little gee-dunk thing. So he said he went to it. He got his snacks. He claimed that he had like a, lapse until he just forgot. And he went back to his office. Well, when he got to the office, his LT saw him with these snacks, knew he got them from, the area, whatever, asked him if he paid for it. He said no. Yeah. So he takes him to, I tried to go back to see what it was called, but he had deleted the post. But he took him to someone else, like, it's almost like the suppo. He didn't say it was a suppo, but it's a person who would be in charge of that. Took him to that person to go report him. And he was like, I'll pay it. It's no problem. He was like, nah. So then he's sending him up to DRB. And he don't think, he's like, I said I would pay. I don't understand. Well, you ain't been listening to the pod because we've been talking about it. And if you had listened, you would have known how Big Navy really cares and how they losing a lot of money because y'all stealing or forgetting to pay for y'all snacks when you leave out the store. So if there's anybody who not listening, your friends, your coworkers, your shipmates, please put it out there that they need to listen because we're going to get y'all out some shit so that y'all understand what's really going on so that when you don't pay for your snacks, and I bet you people are giving him his chiefs were trying to back him or whatever. And they were like, well, if your chiefs got your back, you should be good to go.
Yeah.
Which is good. And they were like, if you had been a good sailor, you might be able to escape this. But
that's what they said.
Yeah. They were like, but
people heartless.
If you've been a nuisance, then nah.
Yeah. Hey, bro. Listen, what is called Naked? That's the name of them little smoothie things.
Oh, yeah.
That shit and that Dutch caramel and vanilla Rip Von waffle, it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it, man. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? See some little waffle cookie sandwiches? Yeah, it ain't, and they sell them at every single next mini mart. You know, the shit ain't worth it. You know what I mean? It's
really not. So be mindful and please be honest and pay for your stuff on the way out the door. Got it?
Please. Especially if you have a lapse and then you remember that you had a lapse right after.
Right.
Hey, did you pay? No,
I ain't paid.
I remember. Very
nonchalant. I ain't pay. And I think people don't realize how, you may think it ain't that big of a deal. It's $5 snacks. No one wants to live amongst thieves. So that's why, that's the other reason why, probably why your lieutenant felt so strongly about it, because nobody wants to live amongst thieves. That's like going to the refrigerator after you put your Red Bull in there and it's gone. Who in the office stole my Red Bull?
Yeah, and you can't always pay your way out of stealing.
Yeah, you can't.
You know,
You can't. I'm like, oh, you need to do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got speaking of that, somebody tried to scam me today. I was at work, you know, and I never really, it was a phone number. It said plus 001 888-842-6328. Right. They call me. Hey, what's up, man? I'm such and such from Navy Fed. I'm just trying to call you because I see I'm trying to get confirmation of a withdrawal from Allison Jones on your account, you know, and first of all, the way the phone was answered and it was just all unprofessional or whatever. So, he was like, so did you authorize? I was like, I'm right down the street from a Navy Fed. I was like, I'm going to just go to the bank and see what's going on because your number looks like super sketchy.
Right.
He was like, okay. He hung up. And I Googled the number and, it's mad different banks. Somebody else was like, hey, is this a Wells Fargo number? It's like, y'all dudes y'all scamming people saying y'all from different banks and y'all using the same phone number. Like y'all got to do better.
Right.
That's stupid. What's the deal with the Carney, Tish? Why you care so much about the Carney coming back?
Because, the Carneys, their deployment was very different than a lot of deployments that other people see. And with the Carney, it's like all this talk that we do about oh, we got to prepare, we're going to war soon. Like they are living, breathing evidence that you got to be ready. You got to stay ready. All those drills that, you always get annoyed by. Like, this is the stuff that we prepare for. Y'all prepare for it. We prepared for it. Like, this is what we do it for. So they're back now. And so, shout out to them. BZ to them. So they were on a 7-month deployment. And so they're finally back into the States. First pulled into Norfolk on their way back home to Mayport. But they conducted 51 engagements over 6 months. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot. And let me see. Let me skip through some of this. There were 14 sailors who were recognized by CNO while they were on theirs. And so that's big shit. Like I said, that's what we train for. And they've seen action that most of us really haven't seen in our time, unless you went on an IA or something. But as far as being on board a vessel, we don't really see that. And so stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Whoever goes out there after them, shout out to them and big prayers for them as well.
Yeah, it's active. That's what that 51 engagement means. It's active out there.
Yeah,
it's real. Things happening out there. We out there defending things, and we ain't just shooting that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's active out there, and it's looking like up to and through 2027, all of these conflicts are only going to get more active. It's an election year this year,
right? Yep.
Which is still weird to say that.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen this year in November. You know what I mean? And, we're going to see what happens. And I honestly think a lot of the world and the way we do things and operate is going to matter heavily on the results of whatever happens.
Yeah.
In that regard too, of course, me and Damon can't get too deep into how we feel about politics and stuff like that. Cause we could probably shit on people right now, but it's in a couple months,
right.
You might not be able to. So I'd rather not have those timestamps.
And it's crazy because I'm in the same category now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm back in it. I was like, how the hell did I end up back here? I was supposed to be the freely speaking one during the election time.
Yeah, you had 2 weeks. You had 2 weeks to get your shit off.
I really did. Yeah. I really did. So I'm back in it now. I had to take an oath and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's only right that we close with, especially, so I just came off the election, so I'm going to talk about the book first. So this episode is different for the people that's always been listening. I usually hit the book last, but coming off the political conversation I'm going to get into this book. It's called The Gatekeepers by Chris Whipple. And it's a longer title to it. I forgot the whole name for it. The Gatekeepers. the gatekeepers, how the White House chiefs of staff define every presidency, right? So I wish I could sit here and say what president is from up to Trump, right? Mm-hmm. But it starts at, I think, Gerald Ford or somebody. I forgot who it started with, but it goes all the way up to Trump. And it goes through like different things that happened. Watergate, it goes through Clinton and Lewinsky. It goes through like every major moment in like Obamacare, like all types of stuff. And like how the chiefs of staff impacted, you know, those presidencies, the different chiefs of staff that were in office. The chief of staff is a trusted advisor to the president, you know. So the book was recommended by Aaron Paul, who we don't have a book club anymore, but we still kind of communicate through books. So he recommended it for anybody in the triad. He thought it was a good book for people in triad. Mm-hmm. I took the time out to read it. It was a good book, and it meant a whole lot. And I learned a lot from those White House chiefs of staff about the job that I'm, you know, now sitting in, you know, the way that I want that to look in the future. So it's definitely a good book, Tish. It's a really good book. I might have gave it 5 stars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have gave it 5 stars. So that's The Gatekeepers by Chris Whipple. It's a couple other books I read too. I actually read this book while I was in CMC Cobb. So I zipped through this one. So this was a good one. So that's that. It was, shout out to Aaron who Command Master Chief Aaron Paul, who I'm only saying this, Aaron, because it was on social media. I'm only saying it because it was on social media, but I saw you shed a tear at that turnover, baby. The eyes look red, man. You know, that's the eyes of somebody who done been through it.
Yeah.
You know, and been through shit, man. So like, and it's a lot of us like that, man. It's a lot of story in those eyes, you know. A lot of time, you know what I'm saying? A lot of time, a lot of sacrifices, time away from family. You might have hurt yourself while you was like at work one day, then recovered through that, went through this, went through that, went through this war, went through COVID, went through September 11, went through all this stuff.
Yeah.
And finally hit Master Chief, able to be a CMC, like what you dreamed to be, go in command, go be a CO's advisor, go do what it is that you always wanted to do. I can understand those red eyes.
Right.
But it look funny when it's your man, you know, when it's your homie, dog. You
like,
my
is
God,
that a
man.
tear?
I saw
Is
them
that a tear?
eyes, like, yo, this was an emotional moment for you, man. And I know Aaron listening to the episode already know that.
Let him have his moment.
He had it, man. So shout out to him, and shout out to Daquan, who took the seat, who I was in school with. You know, I think Daquan gonna do big things. So shout out. I ain't gonna say nothing else because I'm a Daquan's. I feel like all his plans are gonna come to fruition anyway. So I'm gonna shut up about it. But Daquan got some big plans, and I'm 100% in support of all of them, John. So shout out to you, bro. And everybody, like I said, everybody that was in that course with me and everybody that got promoted, made CMC and all of that stuff, right?
Yep.
So let's go trigger warning real quick. We're going to talk about DV. I don't know how long we're going to talk about it. I wasn't even expecting us to pass hour and 45 on this episode, but we will.
Yeah.
It's almost 10 o'clock, y'all. I got to go to sleep. 2,200 for the initiated, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about DV for a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want us to pin too much on it. It's a civilian kind of pop culture conversation, but this really matters in the Navy as well because FAT programs and a lot of people don't say shit, you know, and sitting on some of this IDC stuff now with FAT, I'm starting to see a lot of things and look at a lot of people and for like the truth, like, oh, this is what this person does when nobody, you know, is around.
Right.
And now in the seat I'm sitting at, you can't judge. Like all of these people are still your people. You know what I'm saying? So you got to, you know, best support these people and help them get help and stuff like that. All right, so let's get into it. We all knew about all the scandalous activity that, you know, Puff been, I'm going to use these words, Tish, and never again in this conversation, but accused of in the last 20 years or so. Like Puff been getting accused of shit for the last like 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And most of it I've believed. Like I haven't not believed anything about Puff except for that like audio of him and Meek Mill. I thought that was fake. We'll get into like wild. What that is. But I thought that was fake. But everything else, you know, I believe. But very recently, so I was at a retirement ceremony on Friday, and somebody I didn't know. Can't lie, y'all. I was tired. Baby was waking up twice a night. It's crazy. So I was super tired, doing in and outs, like, you know what I'm saying? Just to be honest. But something came across my phone, and it was Puff abusing Cassie in the P-way of the hallway of a hotel. And he was like, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
I was disgusted when I saw that video. And I shared it with the CMC that I'm relieving, and he saw it, and we talked a little bit about it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it and not get into too much detail, but in the video, what I saw was Cassie covered up, looking like she was trying to get out of wherever she was in that hotel, right? She was trying to get up out of there. And I saw Puff running down a hallway with nothing but a towel on, right? So initially I thought maybe he was in a shower, and she was taking advantage of the time that he was in the shower to get out of there, because she thought that would have bought her more time. I found out from the paperwork, the files, that he had blacked her eye, like earlier in that night. He blacked her eye, and he was in the bed, and she believed that he was asleep. So she was trying to get out of there. She thought he was asleep. So then I'm like, damn, the audacity of this man I don't even really want to call him that, but the audacity of this dude to not even let her take advantage of the fact that you laying down. Like, you got to show that she can't get away.
Right.
Like, I'm not even going to take the time out to get dressed because I want to catch you that bad to show you that you can't get away. I'm going to go out here in this very public place that I know have cameras, wearing a towel. So what you thought you was going to be able to get away because I had to get dressed?
Right.
No, I'm going to show you that I don't care about none of that. I don't care about being decent. I don't care about being exposed. None of that. I'm going to let you know you can't get away from me, right? That's how I felt when I saw him with that towel on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then he hit her with a vase, I think. Then he kicked her in her body, right? Kind of like her buttocks area or whatever, her butt area. I never said buttocks, y'all. You see, I'm trying to do better because I'm trying to do better, y'all. I had some good conversations with some good mentors. He kicked her in the butt. Then it looked like he stomped her, or he kicked her in the head area or her upper back or something. It was like somewhere in the upper part of her body, and he did some other stuff too. And it was disgusting. You know what I mean? And what was going through your head when you saw that video, Tish?
So for me, because of the lawsuit that came out and then how he tried to deny it, and people were kind of like, oh, I believe her, I believe him, oh, she was blah, 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 victim blaming type thing. And it was like in that moment, although I'm sure it's hurtful to see it, I was glad that she got vindicated. Yeah. I'm sure if that had been me and I had to watch that and relive that and know that everybody's looking at that, it would hurt. But there's also that at least now everybody knows, what I had to go through and that I was telling the truth and it wasn't this money grab thing. And so many people, that's their everyday. That's their everyday that they go through, and they go through it silently. Like, how long did Cassie go through that? How many times did she try to escape? We don't know. That could have been her fifth, sixth time trying to get out of there. Because everybody kept saying oh, she could have left. She could have left. Why didn't she just leave if it was that bad? But it's not always that simple. And like you said, you look at those FAP cases, and most of the time, by the time it gets to FAP, that's not the first time that it's happened.
Yeah. And then he issued this apology, right? This week, it was weak. It was surprising too. I fucked up. I was in the bad, whatever you're saying.
Yeah. I was in a bad place. I've gone to get counseling.
Yeah.
I that.
Yeah. And what I really thought about it was, I think I just thought about this today, but what I thought about it was that's the type of apology that he probably would have done to somebody that he was abusing. That's like an abuser's apology. And I feel like if he does apologize, that's probably the only time he's used to apologizing is after he would commit abuse to kind of control his victim and get her back into some kind of way where he could continue to mess and manipulate her mind.
Exactly.
But like that form of apology don't work on the general, some of us that we didn't endure that from you. You don't have that over us. So a lot of people looked at apology like it was trash. Now, I don't personally, like, I know some people wanted him to apologize to her on that video. And I know you might carry those same feelings. I believe that if he did apologize, I don't hold social media in the same regard as everybody else, right? So I don't think everything has to happen on social media.
I agree.
Right. So if he did apologize to her, and he did that in private or whatever like that, that's what he did. I don't want to say anything that even sounds like it's remotely like positive right now toward Diddy, because some people might mistaken that as like I'm trying to shoot him bail. But I just I don't hold the social media thing. I don't hold any credence to that. I believe that like if I go on social media and apologize, I already apologized to the person in private. It was a personal conversation. I apologized in private. And they know that I apologized. And then if I do go apologize on social media, it must be because social media was subject to seeing this thing. And I'm actually apologizing to the fans at this point. Like I've already apologized to the person. That's me if I'm apologizing. So I don't, hold like when people are like, you should just apologize. I don't hold that. But I'm going to just say like this. If Puff was apologizing to me, I don't accept that apology, And I don't know if he ever apologized to Cassie or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even if he did apologize to Cassie, she got the right to not accept that apology as well.
Yes. That was the sorriest excuse of an apology. And it was like he tried to play on everybody's emotions with talking about, I've gone to therapy, I was in a bad place and blah, blah, blah. Like I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Yeah.
None of it at all. I'm not hearing none of it. He could have saved it. And it felt like he was apologizing for getting caught. Because just back in December was it when he, they paid the money, they settled or whatever. And he said, this is in no way an admission of guilt. Yeah. Like that's what he said. And so
that enough is enough.
Right.
Time tells truth.
Exactly. Like you don't gaslit her up until now. Now that you getting caught, now you up in Bali somewhere trying to look sad on vacation. in a cabana, like get out of here.
He looked like he lost like 20 pounds just in his face alone.
He did. He looked stressed the hell out. I was happy about that actually.
Yeah. And if you heard his apology, he only was apologizing for what was on the tape.
Yeah, he was very specific about that.
One event and incident is all he was apologizing for. As if that's so two things, right? As if that's the only time that happened. Something like that happened, which I 100% believe that to be bullshit.
Right.
Or as if that's the only tape that he know was obtained. Like it seemed like that's the only tape he know that they got. So that's all he feel like he need to apologize for. He feel vindicated because like they must not have nothing else, and he knows that. And that's the only tape they got. Cause like just 2 days before that, like he was celebrating. His son was like making diss songs, like all types of stuff. Like he started turning his comments back on, all that. But that's that part. So that's the end of it. But the part about it that we do want to talk about, and I think is very important to service members, because these FAP cases, right? And I know you see cases of your own, Tish, but a lot of times, sellers, they think FAP is like a punitive process. In some ways, it could have some elements that might be disciplinary, like if it's blue on blue stuff, like if you mill to mill and stuff like that. But even in those ways, a lot of that stuff is still up to y'all and what y'all want to do and how y'all want to handle certain things, right? But like FAP is to help you. If you're the victim of the DV, and even for like, is perpetrator a good word, or offender?
Offender, perpetrator, offender.
Yeah, even for that person, the FAP program has counseling and things like that to help. It's to help you and your family. You know what I mean? And it's other things about FAP too, like neglect and other things. But right now we specifically talk about intimate partner violence or intimate partner abuse. And the FAP that's the family advocacy program. If you are a junior seller and you don't know, and it's a lot of different. I wish I had like everything to pull up, the instructions and stuff like that. But it's the family advocacy program. You can find all that stuff. Every command should have a FAP coordinator. You should have somebody you could talk to about these kind of things. And it's just unfortunate because I can't get into any specifics about FAP cases, but it's all around us.
Right.
You know, my first FAP case I read, I was sitting in the seat of the CMC, and I saw something, a FAP case, and somebody at the command that I see every day, you know, and they were the alleged offender, you know, and I'm like, damn, you know, and you can't really think that because some of this stuff not even really settled or final, or it's certain small detail that even if something happened, it's so much criteria with some of this stuff that even if sometimes if something happened, it's not going to determine what happens to the person. But it's like, damn, yo, like, damn, we talk every day. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. Like, it was a civilian at one of my jobs who was assaulting, like molesting his daughter. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we didn't know. Like, we talked to this dude all the time. Like, joked, laughed, did everything. Like, and it's like, damn, this whole time he was doing that.
Right.
You know, so it's so, and I say that because we got service member, like women, you know, and I really teach, I can't lie, like I hold y'all to a high regard. Like any lady that, you know, I look at everybody equal, but like any lady that decide to don that uniform, you know what I mean? And serve alongside us, outside of the fact that you chose to serve the country and you chose to die for the country. That's how I look at like serving in the military. Like it's a potential that you could die, right?
Right.
Sacrifice your life. Outside of that, you got to deal with us. Like you got to deal with the bullshit that dudes do every day. You got to put up with this crazy wild shit.
Right.
And to have to go home to a husband, you know, that like tears down all of that strength and you know, and abuse you and stuff like that, whether they're a service member or a civilian, like I think that's crazy and sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people dealing with that shit that's not coming forward.
And,
you know?
And I've even seen where the woman is or the wife or girlfriend is the abuser.
Yeah.
And listen, FAP, it ain't just because you're a guy and nobody will believe you. I have had a sailor. She was the female sailor. Her and her significant other got into it. And she was found to be the abuser. So she had to go into the spousal abuse classes that you're referring to. She's still in the Navy, even to right now, because she went through the program and she got the help that she needed. I think they tried to stay together and I think they eventually broke up or whatever. But she didn't lose her career over it. So, you know, let FAP do their thing, go through the training, the classes, take it seriously. Like you said, it's to help. It really is to help. Like people are more concerned with, the Navy gonna kick me out, or, you know, the Navy gonna kick my spouse out, so I don't want to say anything. No, both people need help for sure.
Yeah. Cause like the fact of the matter is, and I'm not a professional, like we not professionals here, y'all. We just going off experience. But I don't think many people know that they're going to be abused in their life.
Right.
As well as I don't think many people know or expect to be the abuser. You know what I mean? So it's something there where you need some help and support. And there are programs, right? And I'm saying this based off of firsthand experience, based off of getting phone calls about abuse. And then like the next day when we doing a FAP thing, the seller like, nothing happened. You know, nothing happened. You know, that was a misunderstanding, miscommunication. Meanwhile, they got a bruise or they trying to hide something or something like that. You know, and a lot of people, it's ashamed. They ashamed. It's such a physical, like when it comes to the physical abuse, it's such a physical and psychological, like just like breakdown of a person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're ashamed to report it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then you're afraid for the retaliation part. Then you don't want to get this person that you love in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so many different elements that me and a friend of mine was just having a conversation because his thought process is like, why don't you leave? You're a grown adult. You could think for yourself. Why don't you get up out of that? And I'm like, hey, bro, like, it's not that easy.
It's really not.
You know what I mean?
It's a mental thing for sure. Because they get you mentally first, and then you feel like you're trapped. And you feel like you have nowhere else to go. And that's what keeps you, your mind is what keeps you there. So yeah, they feel like they have nowhere else to go. It's definitely not easy. It's, it's definitely not that. And on top of that, you have to look at, if you have kids, like it's not just you and your spouse that it's affected. It's also affecting your kids. Like I saw domestic abuse in my household growing up. And it affected me in my adulthood. It affected me in my relationship my previous marriage. It affected me from that. Like, I never went through any like counseling or anything. I just kind of like shrugged it off and just, I didn't realize that it was affecting me, but it did. So it's like, it's not just, you get help and then your significant other gets help. Like your kids also, I think there's programs for that too, but you're also affecting, it's the entire household that's being affected by it.
Yeah, a lot of kids. Again, no professional, but there are a number of kids that repeat these things that they saw in their household growing up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And that cycle just continues.
Yeah. And it's funny because, well, not really funny, but, I have other brothers and from what we were exposed to, seeing the different dynamics and marriages amongst the three of us, you can see some things perpetuated in some siblings and then not in others. So yeah, you definitely, it's not, you affect the kids so much more than what you think. And you think that they don't see it. You think that they don't hear it. But they hear it, they see it. You think they don't remember it. They'll remember it. For a long time, I don't want to make this about me, but for a long time, if I was asleep, like in my adulthood, if I'm asleep and I would hear loud talking, I would wake up in shambles, like almost having a panic attack because it would take me back to my childhood when I would wake up to the sounds of my mom being abused by my dad. And so anytime I would wake up, and it can be like loud talking, people having fun. But in my sleep, if I hear loud talking, I wake up like panicked. And it took a long time to get through that. And like I said, that was in adulthood. Like that stuff happened when I was elementary, middle school, So it's important that you not only utilize those resources for yourself, but you also utilize those resources for your kids.
Yeah. And some of that stuff, right? So, hey, before I get into this story, because it's a little weird, I'm about to say, but it's OpNavInts 1752.2 Charlie and OpNavInts 1750.3 Bravo. They the current versions of the FAP instruction, updated and verified as of February 7th, 2024. And again, it's confidential. FAP is confidential, only and sometimes we got to start trusting these confidential programs, man. Like CMCs are picking senior chiefs and chiefs that they really, really trust and expect to hold this down. Now, if they do leak something out, if they push that up to the appropriate parties, let people know they did it. I think a lot of people understand how sacred this is and they respect that process. And I don't think they're going to do that. So, but we got to start respecting it. But the part about, you talking about like people real quick, it was a Twilight Zone episode I was watching, the old Twilight Zone. And this lady, she saw like a girl in the hallway of her apartment complex. And the girl was familiar with her, but she wasn't familiar with the girl. And the girl was asking her about a guy that she saw earlier in that day. And she couldn't remember it, but she knew that she was familiar with the guy. And the girl like, you got to remember. To make a long story short, the guy had killed her mom when she was young. Like he beat her up, he killed her, and she was in a room next to it, outside of it. And from that moment in her life, she blacked out that whole experience to where she pretty much forgot who she was as a kid.
Wow.
So the girl who she saw in the hallway was her.
Oh.
At the age she was when that happened. It was a younger version of her. Now, what she was there to do, what the younger version of her was there to do, was to get her to jog her memory and remember where she knew this guy from. And the reason why she needed to remember that is because she had saw the guy earlier in the car. This guy had got out of jail. He either got out of jail or he wasn't on the run anymore. And he was coming to kill her because he knew she witnessed him killing her mom.
Wow.
So her younger self had to get her to pull that trauma out of, her brain.
Right.
And we do that a lot.
Yes.
You know, we block out block out our trauma a lot. And sometimes remembering that trauma helps us to move forward.
Right.
You know, whether that be to protect ourselves, to protect our children, or to just get our mental health back to where, it needs to be. And a lot of that, you got to deal with it, and you do have to deal with it in your time.
Right.
You can't force nobody to deal with something, in whatever time. But that's what all of those specialists, when it comes to FAP and all that, that's what all of those specialists are there for, to help you make a lot of those decisions. You don't have to make them for yourself. But if you don't utilize that program, you're not going to see the magic and the value that it has.
Right. And don't wait until an incident happens to be like, oh, now let me get, FAP. And now I have all these, all these other consequences that's coming up. If you get it early, get the help that you need early, then you can avoid all the career consequences that could possibly come down. You can avoid all the family trauma that can result from it. Just get the help early.
Yeah. It's that whole saying, like, you gotta something like you gotta like keep your brain. You gotta like treat your brain good now, so later. I'm fucking it up. I ain't even gonna say it, but I'm messing it up real bad. Hey, mom, if this on video, I know you watching. My mom don't catch the episodes that ain't on video. Whether it's on video or audio, Damon, I don't think Damon watching or listening. So, but hey, shout out to you, Damon, if you are. But mom, shout out to you, all the listeners, everybody, people from my last ship, the people from my new command, everybody that listen and don't tell me they listen, actually like that. I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. To everybody that missed us, that's like, what the hell? Why the hell y'all took so long off? Where the hell y'all at? We love y'all and appreciate y'all. Hopefully we get another episode next week and the week after and the week after.
Yeah.
All our guests, everybody, this might be our last episode ever, so I need to shout out everybody that came. What else? We're gonna do our thing, but new beginnings, things we got to figure out. Amari in school, y'all. Daycare, and hey, we thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. Did not know we would be here this long. Teach got me up at 2200 on a work night.
My bad. I missed it.
I missed you too, Teach. I ain't got that 96 like some other commands got. I ain't got that 96.
Dang.
It's the midshipman graduation. You know what I mean? I'll give y'all a little hint of where I work at.
Yeah.
Hey, but shout out to y'all. We love y'all. If you on duty right now, go to sleep, man. Stop listening to this podcast. Go to sleep. You got watch. You got watch at 0200. So take your ass to sleep. Stop listening to us right now. Hey, have a good one. And hopefully we see y'all next week.
Bye.